is a new hero in the multiverse.
I've been looking for you for a long time.
The Tesseract changed her life forever. And her universe. What would she do with such responsibility?
What's going on, beautiful people of YouTube? Bart here with Tully Television. I want to thank all of you for stopping by. I hope that your new year is coming along splendidly. I want to keep you all updated on I mailed out the giveaway to the giveaway winner, so that he should be getting that soon. Hopefully, we've been staying in contact, and he should be getting that soon. I did get the movie 300 yesterday at the time of this recording. So I'll try to see what my week is looking like once I get my work schedule that I do in my real life, and see where I can fit that watch along in there. But today I want to pick up on the What If series. What if Kahhori had reshaped the world? Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher as always. Devery Jacobs as Kahhori. Jeremy White as Adarax. Gabriel Romero as Conquistador Gonzalo. And Benedict Cumberbatch as Supreme Strange. Cumberbatch shows up at the end of this episode, but we'll get into that. But yeah, like, comment, share down below. Let me know what you've been thinking of What If Season 2 so far. Now, I'd have to say, after watching this episode, that this was the episode I was least looking forward to, because, this was an original character that we were going to be getting into that was possibly going to be playing a big part in Season 2, like how some characters did from Season 1, and from Season 1 even into Season 2 here. Because this is the third character from the first season to make a reappearance in this series. The first one is Captain Carter that we did. Then Supreme Strange. I mean, obviously the Watcher. But what do I feel like? Oh, Gamora. When we seen Gamora in the Tony Stark episode, even though that was more around Tony Stark. Gamora was technically a Season 1 character, that we just didn't get to see her story. So I thought that was pretty interesting how some of the first season is influencing the second season, even though this series can have such an infinite amount of stories to choose from. They're trying to still hold some cohesion to it, which I like. Sometimes they've done that with the What If series, where they'll go back and touch on it, right? For instance, if they made If Dana's one after the Infinity Gauntlet saga, they would go back to say, touch on those characters and see where everyone's standing at. So they kind of have been doing that with this. But basically, our lead character, and if I'm pronouncing these characters' names wrong, I do apologize. It's really unintentional. But Kahhori is a Mohawk Indian, from back in the 1600s. And basically, she's just living the best life that she can live with her family and her community. But we see in the beginning of the episode how Ragnarok came early. I know how to talk. Do you know how to talk? Ragnarok had come early, creating the Tesseract to be sent to Earth in the explosion of, Asgard getting destroyed by Surtur. And what happens is the Tesseract lands in a lake and it imbues the water with magic. Well, basically with the power and the magic and all that, whatever you want to call it, of the Tesseract. And anyone who enters this pool of water is transported to another dimension, so to speak, that cannot be seen by anybody else. Because Kahhori here and her brother kind of speak on, people like don't go in the taboo part of the forest because of old battles that happened there and all the bloodshed and the atrocities that come with war. You know what I mean? Where you may be relatively a good person, and that other person on the other side may be relatively a good person, but you both. Sometimes it's two pawns being used against each other, and they're dealing with the consequences of that, right? It's not the old men that are sitting behind making the war moves. It's the younger warriors who normally wouldn't have a skin in the game, but because they're being forced in a way or being lied to, the battlefield, that's how a lot of battles start, right? Someone instigating stuff and trying to take what's not theirs. But at this present time, though, when they went to go check things out, Conquistador Gonzalo came across her tribe and basically imprisoned them to bring them back to Spain. There was a lot of harsh things done to, for lack of a better phrasing, the native people of what is now known as America. For instance, Christopher Columbus, thinking he landed in India, had named the indigenous people here Indians, thinking that he landed in the actual continent of India, and they're like, no, we're a Black Hawk tribe, or the Mohegan tribe, the Mohawk tribe, right? No, we're not Indians. Oh, this is not India? No, it's completely somewhere else. You're Indians. I stole that joke. But, yeah, so basically, as she falls into the waters of the Tesseract and becomes part of this new dimension, so to speak, she meets the people of the past who also went through those waters, and they become imbued, empowered with, speed, the ability to, hyper reflexes, so to speak, and she wants to initially go home, but she's starting to become more comfortable there because she winds up meeting someone who the thought was probably, well, if I'm stuck here, right, this guy seems nice enough, you know what I mean? So Kahhori was kind of in that state of, well, if I can't make it back, let me try to make the best of this situation. And she really took to the powers pretty quick that they wound up getting while living in this dimension. But we learn the reason why she learns about the Spanish conquistador and his basically pillaging of her village is that some of the conquistador's men went through the waters and traveled into that dimension, thus alerting her, like, oh, wait a minute, if they are here, that means they went through the water, and if they went through the water, that means they're not too far from my village, and she wants to go back, but the other people are not wanting to go back, whether they're satisfied with where they're at. And one of the things that she winds up saying to them, Kahhori, is that if you want to be satisfied, if you want to be worthy, not satisfied, but worthy of your life and feel like you're fulfilling something other than just a blase experience, like if you're living in relative peace and ease and know nothing about hunger or pain or anything like that, then fight for that gift that you're given, basically. You know what I mean? Like, this is a gift you're given, and not many people get to live a life of true freedom where you don't need money. Food is available anytime you want. You never age. You have powers. The people that you live with, it's all love, all love all the time. So not many people get to experience that type of life, so fight for it. And so she winds up going back. She's able to go back finally, because the big thing is that no one was able to reach the portal to go back to Earth, right, to the prime reality of Earth. But she, again, being that she, as almost as a fish into water, was able to use these powers to go back, and she came close to defeating everyone, but the conquistador, after having his boats shoot a fuck ton of cannonballs at her, winds up knocking her out, and she hears her brother, and she starts getting the second wind, and then she's realizing she's not alone, that the village, or the people that have been living in the village in the dimension, right, the Tesseract dimension, so to speak, through the water, they came back, and they realized, you're right, we live a gifted existence, and let's help those who don't get to live that experience, because we are able to protect them. And they wound up winning the day. And near the end of the episode, we see them approaching Spain. And, well, not approaching Spain, they're in Spain in the courtroom of Queen Isabella, who is a tough queen herself, you know what I mean? People say there was never really a woman in charge. Well, Queen Isabella was in charge, despite King Ferdinand being kind of the figurehead, but she was really the figurehead. Christopher Columbus went to her to borrow the money. You know what I mean? Because she was the one that holding the pocketbook. If you hold the pocketbook, you hold the power, right? In that regard, especially if you're the Queen of Spain. You know what I mean? You could commission 4 ships like that. Boom. Because I think there was a 4th ship, right? The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, and I think there's a 4th one. Let me know down below if I'm freestyling or not. But that's when she kind of puts the fear of God in Queen Isabella, the court of Spain, and then we see Supreme Strange appear to her and explain to her how he needs her help or has been looking for her. And that's where the episode ends. So obviously, again, like I said, third character besides the Watcher to show up from season one, with Gamora and Captain Carter being the other two, and we'll really see where Strange fits into this whole thing, and we'll see how that connects with Kahhori. I really, really enjoyed this episode. I didn't think I was going to, because of just lack of any real knowledge of this character, but I really think they did it well. Again, the animation's fine. I enjoy the animation style they use, and I liked the voice acting in this. The language that the the Mohawk tribe. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I have a Mohican Sun casino near my house, so that's why it keeps. Well, not exactly near my house, like a couple towns over, but the Mohawk tribe, that current Mohawk tribe, helped advise on this episode of language, how the warriors acted, and what they would do if they, in real life, came across these powers. The Mohawk Indians really gave their real life opinion on how they would handle that. And I thought that was really cool, because, we don't really know every culture or anything like that. We can study it, but unless you're in it, it's kind of hard to understand it and to really know what someone from that culture would do with a particular set of opportunities, so to speak. So I thought that was a nice little move for Marvel to do. For an animated show, you know what I mean? They didn't really have to get that deep into it, but they showed the proper respect, and I respect that. I've babbled on enough about this episode. It's one of my favorite episodes of the season. It's really up there. I'd have to say this one in the 1980s Avengers story have been my two favorites so far. We'll see how everything else goes, though. But until next time, peace, Snookums.